This is Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. I got my partner in crime, Mr. Korean crossover in the place to be, Kevin Carr. What it do? We missed you, bro. We missed you.
Hey man, good to be what they say. We back, we back, we back. Hey, miss you too, my man. 50 Grant, all the way from
Brooklyn's
Brooklyn's.
in the house, no doubt, baby. We
Mr.
got our guest.
Joel Sylvain.
She lives in Brooklyn. We're gonna talk a little bit about her, but it's good to see you back, man. You busy. You a busy man making power moves, doing these deals,
Well,
diversity and inclusion. And you know what, Dante, that's all I gotta say, man. I am so upset. I was so upset today that I had to take I fought through it yesterday at work, but today I couldn't go into work, man. I needed a mental health day
yeah,
because you know I have a daughter, but you know what? All young men are like my sons.
right.
You know what I mean? I have nephews, and this could have happened to them. I remember when I was at NYU, we had
Mm-hmm.
a ritual. When we turned 21, we were like, you know what? We lucky we made it, guys.
Mm.
And
This is
that's a
true.
damn shame that I mean, as black men, we were on the basketball team, and that's what we said when we turned 21, that we weren't in jail, and the fact that we lived. And we all had our stories and encounters with police, but this right here is getting out of
Mm.
hand because it's one thing to get the gun pulled out on you or to be forced on the ground, but when you can't even come back,
Mm-mm.
Mm.
and we're talking about that mother, that dad, you know I mean, we already go through in our neighborhoods, you know black on black crime, and we got to survive that, and we'll definitely keep our head on a swivel. But then when you have law enforcement that's quote unquote says we're here to serve and protect, and all they doing is serving death, it's unbelievable. When I look at a Lieutenant Navario, he's a medic in the army. He's wearing his uniform, and you're gonna just kind of like chastise. You're gonna pepper spray him. He has both
Mm.
his hands up. This is outrageous, and I know we can implore as many people as possible, but when someone dies, I mean, what's the recourse that a mother has now? What is the recourse that a father has now? What is the recourse that the nieces, the nephews, and now, his own child is fatherless? And so I'm loving the fact that our guest on our show, and we're gonna go into her bio, but I just wanted to just kind of share, these are the biggest news. And then DMX, I never dealt with DMX on a one-to-one basis. I've always dealt with all the folks behind the scenes that work with DMX. And trust me, there are mad stories that I can't talk about, but the character of DMX, he was as real as it comes, because what made people love DMX is that he gave back every single time he had opportunity. He was, I dare say it, a prophet.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have an opportunity, please check
Mm.
out the Bible study that he did on around April 24th, where to me that was prophetic, because he said, I'm not going to pray for you this time.
Mm.
You have to learn to pray for yourself.
Mm.
Now that's deep, because almost a year later, he's not here to pray for us anymore. Now he's part of the ancestors to pray for us, but I love you, DMX, man, because you represented the streets, as Irv Gotti said, because Irv Gotti and I grew up together. He represented the streets.
Mm-hmm.
He was ministering to the streets to let them know, like, listen, as hard as things may be, you know what, you can get out of it. And this is
Mhm.
a guy that came from a foster parent. His mom dropped him off. I mean, the only love he had was from his dog. That's why he's and so that's what Power Moves is all about. Is we're gonna touch into the non-medallions of my man Kevin Carr, and we're gonna touch on two of them today. Is mental toughness, and we're gonna touch on ingenuity. But before I do that, big shout out to D Nice, top 15 record, top 14 record, Lynn Scott. I'm gonna have to reach out to you, sister, so we can get that remix over here. But big shout out to D Nice making top 14. Big shout out to the folks at um, Anderson Paak and our boy Bruno Mars with
Mm-hmm.
the that hit record "Leave the Door Open," bringing R&B back, baby. Her bringing R&B back with Jeff Robinson. I'm loving real music, baby. Woo!
Mm-hmm,
And in
mm-hmm.
the sports world, what it do? What it do, Kev?
Well, man, you hit it on the nail. I mean, it's hard to top what you just said. We all feel loss when someone senselessly died at the hands of situations that certainly could have been with cooler heads prevailed. So it reminds me of even myself not being immune from being in front of the police. And every time I think about one of our young men, having to face that, and then the fact that when I was in front of this situation about a year ago to this day, um my main thought was, Kevin, do whatever you can, whatever I can, to live to tell my side of the story if
Mm-hmm.
I get to live, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the reality is we all could be in that situation, that this young man was in, where he was confronted with that. And unfortunately, I totally respect the fact that certainly I try to be a law abiding citizen everywhere, every day I go. But there certainly are situations when you put in them, you have to like really say it's literally in their hands whether I can or cannot get out of this situation. So I feel for the loss. I feel for the situation. It continues to occur. So what it means in terms of the world that I am, there must there seems to be a level of biases when it comes to men, and particularly men of color, and to some degree possibly certain officers. I'm not saying all, because I have friends in law enforcement, but there is a consistency around when some of young men of color continue to be stopped. They continue to unfortunately lose their lives when it goes, very much in a direction where there is the confrontation. So we certainly have to realize that this continues to remind us that this can be a life and death situation.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to remind yourself that you have to do everything you can to possibly get out of this. Even if it's out of your control, you do everything you can. So
And you have a son, Kevin. I mean, your son is
Mm-hmm.
about 20 years old. He's about the same age.
I have two sons, and they're not small guys. One is 6'4", about 380 pounds. The other is about 6 foot, and he's 14 years old. So I live in Florida, and in Florida they have the stand your ground. And within that law says if you feel some ways threatened, you can defend yourself and even shoot the person to his or her death.
Right.
So it is a concern as a parent, as a man in general, and then as a parent, how do I, deal with that where I have men that I'm raising, young men, and when they get into a situation, I've trained them as well to, be mindful. You can be possibly in a confrontation with the least likely person and be confronted with a firearm, and you could potentially lose your life over that, whether it's a police officer or a citizen. uh, everyday
Mhm.
citizen. So you have to be mindful here and know that that situation could turn any way you possibly can. It is a sobering moment. Once again, I want to remind people, as someone who talks and teaches diversity, inclusion, and innovation, that we must be mindful that we have to be very unfortunately, but fortunately, we have to be mindful that we could be put in this situation at any time. So we have to be on guard, on keep our mind on deck, and be very, very prudent about, if I'm ever in that situation, train yourself, train your mind to be ready and how you deal with that, because it could come. Unfortunately, we
Mhm.
have to talk to this. We do have to talk
Mhm.
to this. So it's a very real situation. It continues to happen. I'm working with clients now, preparing them to talk to the potential upcoming trial and what that outcome will be, and how do we manage in the workplace,
Mhm.
how
Mm-hmm.
do we manage at home and our schools, etc. So I want to remind everyone to be mindful too. How will you, if the upcoming verdict in the trial for George Floyd goes a certain way, what are you preparing yourself mentally and emotionally to deal with? So we want to make sure everybody is thinking
Mhm.
and being mindful, because it will be heard around the world. It really will.
Mhm.
Will be watching. So we want to be, we didn't want to take a ton of time, but we want to be very real about this. That as much as we're going to get into our guest and how um, dynamic she is and how enterprising she is, we always take a moment to talk about the real here and what the
Mhm.
opportunities could be in for entertainment, for sports, but also real world issues. So
Real,
thanks for
real,
Mhm.
real
setting the
life.
tone.
Because at the end of the day, you know, you can't have it. You can't make any power moves if you're not alive. If you don't
Mhm.
know, if we're not talking about the issues and the challenges that we face on a day-to-day basis,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
how to circumnavigate that. And um, in a couple of weeks, I plan on bringing in one of my Asian best friends. We played ball together. He's a Syracuse guy. I call him the $6 million, $7 million man because he's always breaking bones. But we'll have him because he's a dynamic individual. But being that we have about 2 minutes before break, I do want to touch on some additional news. Our boy John Bryant has $25,000 for new black businesses with the 1 million black businesses owners. So through the Shopify arrangement that he has, which is huge. So make sure and you reach out to Operation Hope headquarters. You want to definitely take advantage of that. Also, I want to give a big shout out to one of our former guests, Danny Hastings. Posted his first NFT in the place to be, and
Okay.
it's beautiful. It's showing the World Trade Center, and the bird is his first NFT.
Mm.
If you want to check it out, go to rarible.com/ Danny Hastings. Rarible, RARIBLE.com/ Danny Hastings. He's in the building with the NFTs, baby. And last but not least, Mr. Actor Hill Harper launched his Black Wall Street platform aimed at empowering investors of color. So he's doing the darn thing. Go to www.theblackwallstreet.com for more information. And that's what it do, baby. That's what it do. On that note, man, let's get it ready to go on break, and then we'll do the proper introduction. Well, we welcome LG Athletics. We're not going to say her name yet because we didn't do the introduction, but you see the t-shirt, the commercial is right here. LG Athletics. You're going to love this episode. I'm telling you. We got some secret sauce. So once again, this is Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect on In Touch News Radio, reality radio where everyone is a star. See you after the break.
you sports fans. Tune in every Monday morning to listen to Mic'd Up Mondays with Michael Clayton. You don't want to miss this.
On In Touch Radio.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
All right, we back. This is Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. We have a sports enthusiast with years of sports industry-related experience, including directly supporting various sports brands, teams, athletes, sports agencies in meeting their project and organizational business objectives. She is known for her branding, creativity, and excellent communication style. She is working to venture out and create a sports athletic business within the youth health and wellness, which is called LG Athletics LLC. She also has previous work experience with a sports PR agency, Sports Media World, and also assists the NBA League office with their NBA Cares Community Relations Program. She's also served as an event coordinator for the NBA All-Star Weekend and contributes to other league-wide initiatives. Prior to this, she spent 15 years at the swoosh Nike, baby, and the last 5 years with the New York Roadrunners in youth and community service. After spending over 15 years working at Nike, she also works with the Kobe Bryant Mamba Academy summer basketball camp and assists the Los Angeles Lakers with their annual kids basketball camps during the NBA offseason. Since 2011, she has spent 10 years as an athletic strength conditioning coach at Brooklyn Friends. That's the charter school in Brooklyn. Really good, really good. She's also supported Nike and the Portland Running Club companies in the footwear training and specialized women categories. She's helped fill critical roles in product research while assisting in the development and sales divisions. In other words, she's a power broker. Let's welcome to the show, Miss LG Athletics, Miss Lydia Gonzalez. What it do?
What it do? What it do? Thank you so much. First and foremost, I appreciate you having me. I thank you so much for the time, your show, your everything about you and what you have going on sounds amazing. And you're definitely being an influence in all across the board. People know if you're connected to Kevin, you're connected to me. We're all connected because it's all a circle of love and power. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. I want to take time just to obviously recap on, yes, all of the above. And I appreciate all of that because it's been long, hard work. And I thank you for that.
Well, thank you. You know, Kev, set it off, man.
Hey, this is one of my people, as they say. One of the most down to earth, but I would say one of those people who have an unbelievable grind and will do whatever it takes to put herself in a situation where she can benefit not only herself, also others. She's done a great service to me, connecting me to different people. So it is a pleasure and an honor and a wonderful opportunity to talk to Lydia Gonzalez. So without further ado, we just want to get to know you a little bit. Who
Yeah.
is Lydia Gonzalez? Break it down.
That the bio, the resume definitely doesn't do it justice, because when it comes down to it, I would definitely say in a nutshell, I am first and foremost a passionate, positive, perseverance, God fearing woman that has a lot of love for people and all across the board. I am definitely someone that wants to see people win, not only for myself, but the people all across, from children, obviously, we'll get into that, to all the way to anyone else that can touch lives. So I really want to make an impact on this earth, to really truly be effective, whether it's an organization, whether it's in the community, whether it's, among our family, our friends, but definitely be someone that's a value. And as we know, like you just touched on, when you leave this earth, what are you leaving with? And that's definitely what I strive for every day, on making sure that my hard work every day is impacting something and someone at all times. So I truly, Kevin, as you know me, and you continue to get to know me, and you push that envelope every day, even when I don't want to hear the truth, and you challenging me. It's true that you got to have people in your corner that's telling you the truth and really giving it to you, because you got to see the bigger picture of life, and not just for the now, but the later. And so I'm someone that likes to plan. I'm somebody that's always thinking. I'm never not thinking. I'm goal driven, and I take time to really space that out in all areas of my life. And we'll get into that. Being an athlete my entire life has very grounded me. I've been running sports since I was young, so that's, fast forward, in the between.
So
So
take us there, Lydia. Like, take us to the beginning. Like, you were actually grew up in a famous town. Like, all of us who love the
yeah.
swoosh brand. Look, you grew up somewhere. You told me at one point, Oregon. Like, how did you get there?
Had
What happened? How did you
it-
get to Nike? All that. That's amazing.
And you know what? And what's
Absolutely.
great is, and I want to kind of preface it by saying this is our power segment. So
Hmm.
we want you to tap
Yes,
into,
yes,
share with us
absolutely.
what was the attraction, and how do you get the power to do and
Absolutely.
overcome the things that you've overcome? Because I do have a question for you after you answer
Yes,
this.
yes. So, in a nutshell, my parents, I'm Puerto Rican and Mexican.
All right.
I'm Puerto Rican. But
Shout out.
I love my family. Yes, shout out
That's
Boricuas.
right.
um,
Boricua,
what up?
Mexicano.
Yes, Puerto
So
Rico.
definitely, I'm very ground rooted in my Hispanic culture. My parents met in Chicago. They were both. My mom was born and raised. Rest in peace. My mom passed away in 2019, and my dad is still living, and he's in Mexico. But my mom born and raised in Puerto Rico. My dad born and raised in Mexico. They migrated and they met in Chicago, and they wanted a lifestyle that was not Chicago, New York. To be honest, they wanted to definitely have a different lifestyle for us, because they both already had been through a New York, Chicago lifestyle prior to that. So they migrated to Oregon. I had family there. My biological father has had family, and we settled there. I was born and raised there. I was from a small town called St. Helens. It's 40 minutes outside of Portland. My mom was a single parent raising us. My parents divorced after 13 years, and I was about 3. And I pretty much, that right there set the tone to, honestly, my whole journey of life, of being in athletics, being varsity, everything. I was a very strong runner, basketball player, all around sports, softball, everything. So from an early age, I definitely took to it. And that right there was my power to really, really set forth my whole life. That right there was the biggest chapter of my life, I would say, because that set me up for college, and the big picture of the swoosh. So fast forward through the high school years, I ran track, cross country, played varsity basketball throughout. So I'm a good player. I would say great player. There's obviously perfection, but I feel like as an athlete, you have two options. You can, obviously think big and go collegiate, and it's in it to win it, or you can, as a minority, as a brown person, I had to pivot very quickly. And that's my story, is truly understanding that I had to put sports as a hobby, as a lifestyle, because I had to think 10 steps ahead at all times, being that I knew that what my competitors were going to be when they graduated, what most people were trying to do in that atmosphere of Portland, Oregon, graduating and working at the Columbia, at Adidas, and the biggest at Nike. Big, big market for the footwear industry. And I always said, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to make sports my secondary. I'm always going to do it, but it's not going to be my focus. And I have to grind. I'm going to go to corporate. I want to be a boss in some sense. I got to make my way, because there's always going to be competition if you don't set your career path as far as business wise. So my focus was really like going to college, and at the same time multitasking, being at a 4-year college at Portland State. When I went community first, I did community, and then I transferred to Portland State, and I made my way that way to have a typical type of liberal type of college atmosphere, not that real college lifestyle in the sense of having it more urban, not really having that college big university lifestyle. So I was somebody that was just like, I'm gonna focus on corporate America at the same time as go to college and live a different lifestyle. So, yes. So in a nutshell, I was focused on getting through that. Focus was Nike. So my thing was power moves, get in at a young age at 20, and really start delivering the concept of what it takes to get forward and make those power moves moving forward throughout my chapter of my life.
Well, so what was that like? Because I'm going to follow up with that, because my question was going to be something different, but we got about 3 minutes before break. But what was that like working in Nike, and what were the moves that you made to work your way up and get that exposure? So people, because, a lot of times, we have folks that are entrepreneurs that listen to us, and we also have folks that, a majority of our folks work for, a company, and they're trying to figure out, how do I get my exposure? How do I move up the ladder? What did you do? What was your strategy to move up the ladder? What was your power move?
So in a nutshell, I would say, keeping it short and sweet, is there's so many ways, but the biggest way is to, honestly, I feel my way was one of the best ways, was not being afraid to honestly email anyone that you could email to get connected and have an informational, is what they call them, informationals, a sit down, a one-on-one, and really utilize that time. And my lunch hours, I started at the employee store. So that's how I started working, going to college and working part-time as in retail, which was is their private store for athletes, celebrities, employees only. It's 50% off. Maybe it's changed now, but like, that's where I started. In 2002, I graduated high school, went to college, and that was my focus, was getting into retail, getting it in quick at a young age. So for anyone that's trying to really understand the business aspect of corporate America, especially with branding and big companies, they got to get that retail out of the way. Because if you don't get that retail, they're not even going to consider you for big jobs.
Great point.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I said, I need to check that off, and I really got to execute this and have a plan to be out in 3 years. I can't be here more than 3 years. And I've always had a plan to 2 to 3 years. Everything's got to keep changing. And so my focus was 3 years, get that retail, because I am a retail type person, that I really love retail. But I can't sit there unless you're really doing big power moves within retail. You don't want to sit there too long, because that's a lot of experiences that it's going to hold you back. So I knew what I was going to school for was marketing. That was my end goal. I knew my degree, and in the midst of retail to marketing, I had to make a lot of moves, because especially a business marketing, when it comes down to it, it's very, very competitive. I mean, to this day, it's so competitive. It's one of the most hardest degrees to have, because of the competition that you're dealing with. To this day, with younger people, with social media, there's a whole nother market. That's another topic. So you definitely want to have a goal, to understand that, like, what's your short-term goal and what's your long-term goal. And so I started in retail, and from there it was like me being a very personable, outgoing. I am not shy. I don't hold back. I will go up to any celebrity and start asking, questions.
Yes, you will.
And yes, and so I definitely utilized every opportunity. I never went to work without having opportunities. I'm going to connect with 1 to 5 people, because it's a numbers game. to connect with them and see if I can sit down with them and ask them for 15 minutes of their time. And it's going to be on their time, lunch hours, whatever time I can get. So if a VP was walking in, an executive, a celebrity, anyone walking into that store, I was sitting down at some point in the calendar year to understand what does it take to sit down with you and to make it just like you made it and give me information. So I started picking brains quick.
All right. So pause right there, because we got to pay some bills. You was gonna keep going, girl. I was waiting for that gap, but you keep going. We got to pay some bills over here, girl. This is Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. We're gonna come back after the break because LG got some energy and she got some stories, but she's hitting you with the knowledge on In Touch News, reality radio, where everyone is a star. See you after the break.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here for you.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
Call in and tell a friend to listen in.
Listen up.
It's In Touch Radio, reality radio.
All right, we back. This is Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how we earn respect. So, we just was wrapping up the power segment. We was doing it in reverse because of her story. I wanted to kind of jump into that, and we're going to bleed into this before we go into the money segment. But so you talked about how you made sure that during your own personal time, you made sure that you got the information that you need from the influential people that was doing it to ensure that you will constantly elevate. The other point that you made was every 3 years, you made sure you had a goal and a time limit so that you were always moving on to the next. I love that. So take notes on that. What do you got to say about that, Kev? Like, follow-up questions you have for her?
Well, I mean, I want to jump into the money because I know that a lot of people think, oh, you work for a Nike, you make a lot of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to build on is, the biggest amount of money, the smallest amount of money, how did you treat your first earnings? And then when you finally got to a point where you had a little smooth air with your money, what did you do with it? How did you grow it? And is this something that people can do in terms of what you do and learn how to build and save? So one day, if they want to do something with that money, they can do whatever it is. So talk to us about, how you started and how you grew and appreciate the money, because that's what people are trying to get to.
I'm going to get to the money, and I'm going to say this story short and sweet. It's bigger than every other story I have. I earned my first $10,000 at the age of 16. And how I did that, I was a cashier for my first job in high school, 4.0, 3-sport athlete, working at Walmart. My mom was so proud of me, and I saved every penny. I mean, to this day, I can keep making my goal all the time is 10,000. 10,000 is always my minimum.
I like that.
Why?
I like that.
Because I feel that a 10,000 is a goal that everyone can abstain. Everyone, from a child, from a teenager to, if you go under a situation of a pandemic of anything we go through in life, you lose your job, you need to have minimum 2 months to a year of life of savings, and 10,000 is a good number to have to get you through. The stimulus and funds like that are not going to do it, and so you have to think big, and you got to think for yourself. So my how I did it was, I truly was disciplined, I was focused, and I never lost track of understanding that my mom truly to this day has embedded that in me, to never have 6 months to a year, and that's $10,000. And so I truly, from 16, have always had that mission to always be able to be set up at any given time. And so my biggest advice for anyone, from all of us, and especially in our own community, is to think that you gotta learn how to budget. You have to learn how to budget. I have a little tactic, and this is my trick. If I make, let's say, even minimal on small numbers to big numbers, you can utilize it however, but whatever those dollars are, let's say it's $150, 0.23, I take that $50.23 and I put in a savings immediately. I don't care about anything else. That extra whatever it is, that 75, that 105, even if it's $5, that's going into savings. So however much your liquidated money's coming in, if it's a big dollar check, if it's $1 million check and you got 1 million, 1 million and 100, then you put that 100 and you can focus on your million. But like, that's, every penny counts, and that truly every penny is going to add up. Just like when you spend, your cards can be you can cap out quick because of the little dollar here, dollar there. So every penny you save is very crucial, and that is truly a big trick that people don't, and I try to embed it in my own family and my nephews and my nieces, because it's so important that we teach our kids at a young age, because not a lot of people are talking about this. And I was fortunate enough that my mom did talk about it and implemented it. I mean, really was very encouraging, that she will always be there, but at the end of the day, you got to have you, because nobody else is going to have you.
I like the fact that 16 years old, you set a number, and one of the things that our audience needs to realize is,
yes,
get a number, set it, and really strive towards that. A lot of us don't even in our mind put a number out there that they want to attain. So Lydia's number is 10K. What is your number? But you should definitely have. I love that. I think people need to make sure, because you did hit something. The pandemic showed us, and if you weren't prepared, you certainly had to depend on someone else. You certainly now know, even though we're still in the midst of it, what is going to be your pivot? What is going to be your post-COVID strategy, if is a post, right? What will it be for us? So I love that. Joel, go ahead, fire off the next question, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it piggybacks off of the fact that, so you were an executive with the Roadrunners Club, and then you started a new business during the pandemic.
Yes.
And so so I'm just kind of piggybacking off of what we said, and like I said, the theme of the show, guys, today is ingenuity, the non-medallion, and the mental toughness. And we want to tap into that Mamba mentality, baby. So share that story in about 2 minutes.
Yes.
I gotta give you goals. I gotta give you time goals.
Yes. That in a nutshell, truly, I left the office on March 11th. I was there for 5 years. To this day, I mean, it was one of the best blessings of my life. It was a great chapter of my life. But I knew when that pandemic hit, I walked out of the office and I was already preparing. God was already preparing me for something bigger, but I did not know what it was. But he started preparing my heart to get ready, because at this point in my life, this was my third layoff in my 20 years of career. So I was already prepared as a person to understand how to take this, how to understand the pain that people go through when it might be somebody's first. By now, I'm at the point in my life that I was already prepared that way. So with that being said, fast forward, August 1st was our last day for many of us. And I can't worry about, how the company shifted after that. But on a positive note, I pivot quick again, just like I've had 3 and 4 times prior to this in my life. Fast forward from moving from Portland, Oregon to New York 10 years ago. So that was the big chapter of my life. Same kind of scenario of having to pivot again. So a big pivot for me was, I will never let Lydia fail, because I got 20 Lydias that I love inside of me, that it's like 20 kids that I love Lydia so much. And it's self-love. You got to love yourself. You got to want it. You got to never let yourself fail. If nobody else believes in you, God believes in you, and you got to believe in you. So I pivot quick and said, I've worked 20 years in this industry of working for everybody else. I know my marketing. I know children. I run clinics. I run camps. I've worked for teams. I've worked for NBA teams. I've worked for Kobe. I work for the New York Rotors. And what I physically do is create programs for children, for lower incomes, in for education in New York, providing physical education. I put it all together. I said, I can do this. And I pretty much was like, I had an epiphany, and it was just reaching probably around the fall, October. So I was already, getting my goals and everything, going back to drawing boards and everything from August 1st to October. And that's when I just full throttle went and I registered it, and I didn't think twice. I funded myself, and it has taken off since November 25th, since I started it physically with the LLC. My first session with the children was on December 4th. It has been literally 5 months of success, and I have never been this happy, this more breakthrough with funding. I already see the projection coming. I'm getting clients every day and parents calling me that I'm almost gonna be ready to start having to hire, because I'm already over getting overworked in a sense, because I'm getting so much work. And so I'm grateful for it. But now I got to start planning for the employees.
Hey,
so let's rewind. So
hold, I'm just saying, she said a lot.
I know we gave her the muzzle. We gave her the muzzle, but man, she went real fast forward. I love it though.
She went in.
There's a lot of nuggets in there. A lot of nuggets. So you know what's great is, all I kept thinking about is December 4th in Brooklyn. Yo, wasn't it cold back then?
Oh, it was freezing cold. And I said, listen, every dollar counts. I'm going to be out there. Whoever's going to show up, they're going to show up. And I had already off the bat 15 kids show up faithfully for 2 months of winter, from December 4th all the way 2 months. Forget that, to all the way to March 4th. 3 months consistently.
So
that was...
Lydia, so you're telling me you thought through all the things you learned, and you put together a business that complemented all these skills. And one of the areas that's most concerning to me as a parent was the health and wellness of my child in the midst of COVID. And you figured out a business. Now you work with putting programs together, your company helping young people get active and moving. And is it my understanding you now have adult clients that you're moving into? Your business has a second segment area?
Yes. I'm working with the parents. I'm working with families. I'm doing combined family sessions together. I'm doing virtual sessions. I'm working on my rooftop, because I got a rooftop. So I'm taking them outside, being COVID friendly and keeping them socially distanced on my rooftop. I'm going into the parks. I also obviously will train eventually. The big picture will be built out with having my own space and buying into my own space and having my studio. But that's long term, and that's after the summer hits, after the fall. That's the goal, is to get that in place once we go back indoors. But right now in Brooklyn, and this is the best time to be in New York with as far as the weather goes, we go from here until September. I can accommodate all of this, because let alone, I mean, more people want to be outside more than ever. So it's booming, and people are asking, how can I sign up with you? How can I get the health plan? How can I get the training plan? How can I get the learning tools of how to physically be fit? And as Kevin, I'm sure, is going to touch on, I am a over 20 marathoner finisher, and I've ran 20 marathons now, and I'm a Boston qualifier, and I know how to get someone from a 5K, couch 5K, all the way to complete a marathon on whatever goals you're setting, being injured free as well. So I truly take pride in that. A lot of people are going,
So I have a quick question. Are you endorsed by Nike?
Not yet. We're working on it.
Okay, cool. Because I do have a question about some sneakers. Because I messed up my ankles. Unbelievable. But anyway, but we gotta pay some more bills. We'll touch on that, because I wanted some sneaker advice
Yes, we can talk all day.
That might cost you though, bro.
Yeah, that might cost you.
Man, come on. Where's the sponsorship?
There it is.
So once again, this is Power Moves with celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. I'm here with my partner in crime, Mr. Kevin Carr, Mr. Career Crossover, and this is In Touch Radio, reality radio, where everyone is a star. See you after the break.
We can do this together.
All right, let's go.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No.
Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this.
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the
fine.
most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
We back.
Yes, we are.
Power Moves with celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. We back after the break. We talking about a superhero businesswoman. She went from corporate to cha-ching on her own in less than 3 months, which is absolutely amazing. And she's turned her hobby, her passion into profits. And so now we're going to kind of venture into the respect segment. And I wanted to, like I said, speaking of respect, you know, I know you have a lot of respect for Nike, but on a personal tip, I was at Fit to Run, and someone said to me, you know what, you really should consider those Hoka One sneakers. How you feel about them Hoka Ones?
I can't even respond. So again, in a nutshell, they got me injured really bad. So I have been someone that I could truly say that honestly, it's not even about the swoosh being like, oh my gosh, that's what all I bleed since I was a baby until now. But honestly, it's not even like that. It truly is. They are really an amazing company and know what they're doing because the technology, and they've been around and they perfect it and they keep perfecting it. So I truly, it's not even about the love for it. It's the technology and knowing how many other shoes I ventured out to. And it was almost like the Lord told you, child, not to go that way. It's the same thing. That's the best analogy. So I stepped away and I dabbled in every single across the board. The only one I never tried is the Saucony, but I dabbled with Asics Hard. I went with New Balance, Hoka. I went with Adidas. I tried everything in the market. I've had over 500 pairs of shoes that I had to throw out.
Wow.
And I learned so much. Over 500 pairs I had to throw out just actually recently, about in the last year and a half. I truly had thrown everything out because I knew that there was no hope. I'm not going to go back to them. They injured me. They kept me injured and they locked me up. And I finally, through so much research, and I got to thank one of my personal coaches that do coach me to this day, is her name is Jessica Marie Leggio, and she is a biomechanics expert. Her and her
Shout
partner
out
on
to
the
Jessica.
Jessica, she's amazing. She's absolutely phenomenal. Her company's Run Pain Free. And with that being said, I have learned so much from her, listening to her podcast, listening to her, understanding everything she's done and the biomechanics of a person. So when it comes down to it, after understanding her and now working with her and really just partnering in so many ways, I learned about the footwear industry on another level. And I should have never left Nike because I was good when I was good. And then I left and I started becoming injured because of all these footwear. And so with that being said, it's when a shoe can't move, that means like, just like the Kenyan run barefoot, it's you want your whole foot to function, and you want your foot to be able, and if you're not moving a shoe that's a neutral shoe that's truly flexible, you're locking your whole system up, and that creates injuries. And that's when it's a whole nother marketing gimmick, and there's a lot of footwears out there. You can temporarily get by, but long term it's going to mess you up. So I physically I've been injured free, pain free for over 2.5 years, and I Boston qualified like this, like times.
Congratulations on
Thank you
that,
so much.
for
And
sure.
that's big in the running world, truly.
So let me ask you a question.
Hold on, I got a quick
go.
one, because I want to jump into the respect segment.
Yep.
And I want to, and I need your help with this, Kevin, because I'm going to take the respect segment to a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way that you talked about you talked about your coach, Jessica.
Yeah.
How important is it for you, Lydia, and for others to respect our elders, to get the wisdom that we need to avoid the mishaps that we want to avoid sooner?
Absolutely. That keys on just the point that I thought I knew it. I thought I was an athlete that just got it. I could get this. You can only get so far in life. Just a corporation, working, relationship, peers. You have to be able to humble yourself and truly take yourself out of the equation and really listen to someone else. And that was for me a big breakthrough, because I thought I understood it. It's not that I was like, I thought I knew it. It's just I thought it made sense to me because I was an athlete, right? But being an athlete and having a coach is something different. So a coach always needs a coach. We all need coaches in life. And just like I have had so many great coaches in my life, amazing coaches to this day, that is something that implements in my life, that why I'm doing what I do to coach these kids and coach people, because we all need coaches to learn from people. So she was a big time inspiration in my life that has came in among everyone else that has entered in my life. So I definitely say, with that being said, it's like you really, really have to come together and learn and really take yourself into a place of outside of humbling. It's really being open-minded and really listening and want to learn. And when you want to learn, we can come together. But as long as we're trying to do things on our own, we can't execute on trying to make money. We can't execute on how to come together as a team player. We got to be a team player, and everybody has to, I feel like, not know their part, but want to be a part of something to create something.
So I love the fact that you really broke down that, your success really has come. You were a student, and then you became a teacher, and then you became a student again, meaning being mentored. I love the way you were breaking down the shoes. I thought I was in a little bit of a clinic there. So I love the energy that was going out on that. But on the real, like, this is a burning question I had. I always think that people who run marathons are a little crazy. I mean, good crazy.
Yeah,
so
me too.
What? So what is it that gives you? If you could coach us, what does it take to get your mind ready? You went from couch to 5K, and then you went to whatever 10K to a marathon. What can you give our audience a sense of? We might have all put on a pound or 2 or 5 or 10 during the COVID, and we want to get moving. What is it that motivates you to get up and go and exercise, and even one day think about going from the couch to a 5K to a marathon? And the fact that we don't see a lot of women, particularly minority women, women of color, particularly Latina, I really want to emphasize you are a motivating factor for a lot of women here. So I really want you to hone in. How do we get us going? Men, women, but also empowering women here. Lift us up, lift the women up, and give them some
because you demonstrate a respect for your body as a temple.
Mm-hmm.
Because to do a marathon, 26.2 miles, I can't do it. So yeah, please, please talk to us.
Definitely. I would encourage every woman, every person, but more so every minority of any sort, from any background of life, especially, that even if it's just a mile, I always pride myself to say, even if it's just a mile, we can do a mile. And if we can do 1 mile, your body naturally is going to want 2. then it's going to want 3, and it becomes very, very systematic. Just like we brush our teeth, your body starts training that it wants more, and more. And so once you hit that, I would say a good a 5K to a 10K goal, that everything after that is honestly doable. It's just trying to get a 5K and a 10K, which is 3.2 miles, 3.1 miles and 6.2. So it's those kind of
So how do
goals.
you get people off the couch?
The couch. Absolutely. To get from off the couch to a 5K, I would say, or even to a mile. That again, I'll go shorter. You want, just like money, you want to set tangible goals. You want to be honest with yourself and really say, I'm going to be dedicated to do that mile, whether it's every other day, whether it's every day, however you plan your mile out. You want to be able to plan and stay consistent. And how my mom trained me since I was a little girl, how to run, and she instilled the running in me, was this system was, you have to keep consistent for that certain mileage for a week, a month, 2 months, and not be hard on yourself. Once you graduate and you're ready to do that 2 miles, go to 2 miles. You gotta you really have to set small goals, but to you it's big goals. But really set tangible goals, just like that 3-year plan, or just like making 10,000, or that money goal. You have to set tangible goals so you don't fail, so you don't give up on yourself, just like going to the gym. And
That sounds like the
every
mental toughness segment that we talked about. Staying
yeah.
mentally strong and tough.
So I got a quick question in
Yeah.
regards to that, because I haven't ran in a minute and I have some ankle issues. Getting get that fixed. But
we're gonna help you. We're gonna get you.
But man, it seems like ever since I stopped running for back in the days, because I used to do cross country when I was younger, I get the itchies when I run.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you eliminate the itchies?
What is that?
like it
What is
scares
that?
you?
No, it's like when I start running, it's like I start my legs start itching, and like
Well, big tip on that, just in real quick, is it's very, very, I can't stress it enough. I hope every person can hear me out, because I'm so crazy about it. You have to foam roll. You have to foam roll. That's even if you just want your biomechanics body as a human to function. You want to be able to roll your back out. You got to roll your whole system out. It's a deep tissue massage given to yourself every day, and really getting your blood flow, because we're sitting, we're hunched over, we're doing all these things that we're not moving our system. So if we're not working out, the minimal thing we could be doing is foam rolling, and that's going to help prevent injuries and also get you in line so your body can be stronger for when you're ready to go do a workout of any sort. So especially as we get older, our body's going to take more impact.
So Lydia, we don't end our show without our guests. We'd hate to end this show because you got so much energy. I know you go another 3 hours at least. We don't let our guests in without giving us a way of, how do we consume you? How do we follow you? How do we support you? How do we buy you, etc.? So let us know what LG Athletics is, Lydia Gonzalez, how to follow you, etc.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, you guys. Again, I can't thank you enough for the time and the space. This has been amazing. I am so honored and grateful. I'm really looking forward to the 2021. I believe not only myself, but you guys and everybody else, this is our year to truly get ourselves to, yes, absolutely, to refocus and get these goals back into what we had, and more hungrier than ever. And I have to give props to our Kobe Bryant, because truly that Mamba lives in us, and that Mamba is real and it's deep. And I truly, not as a fan, but honestly on a bigger level, you got to have that inner, that Mamba in you. You gotta want it. You gotta wake up every day wanting something, because if it's not for you, it's for your loved ones. So whether that's eating right, whether that's health, wellness, whether that's a project that you want to work on. So with all that being said, I just really encourage people to really stay focused and push themselves. You can find me on my Instagram. It's LG, just like, so it's Lydia Gonzalez is my name, and athletics. So those are the abbreviation, my initials, LG. So it's LG_athletics_ on Instagram. So yeah, LG_athletics_ on Instagram. you can visit my website, and that's www.lgathletics.com.
That sounds good, don't it, Lydia? It's rolling off your tongue, girl.
Let it roll. www.lgathletics.com, and you can pretty much, I'm on Google ads. You can, LG Athletics is coming up now on the first page on Yelp and Google ads, and I'm really excited for both platforms to be getting my reviews and comments, so the more the merrier. I appreciate it.
This is awesome. I want our audience to go out, tell people, tell families, get your kids moving. Lydia has amazing programs. Consume her, buy her, support this female-owned Latina
That's right. And not only that, but she's virtual, so she's not limited to New York City. She is global and virtual. That's right. So that's
innovation,
what's amazing about it.
Ingenuity. Go ahead, girl. We appreciate
and that's
you.
The ingenuity that
Thank you for coming on today.
Yes.
So go ahead and take us away, partner.
All right. Thank you, Lydia. You were awesome. And once again, Nike, you need to stroke us a check. We need to give you a call so we can get some sponsorship. That I can wear some sneakers. You know, I could use some Jordans.
Well, I'm already in there, so
I know you in there. I need mine. But once again, this is power. That's gonna be my power move. This is power moves where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect.
All right, thanks, DJ Anna. Thank you.
In Touch Radio, reality radio, where everyone is a star, and we are out.
Thank you, DJ Anna. Lydia, bless you.